the beautiful hemlocks. That doesn't...
Hello. Okay. Hello. Welcome to our version of cool things in nature. Today we'll be talking about trees, specifically the eastern hemlock. As you can see behind me, there's very much old growth behind us. So it'll be cool to learn about. And as we lower in elevation, the old growth forest will be in our field of vision. So stay tuned for more.
My name is Tessa. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying anything else.
Well, okay. Is it going? I'm Ellie Burke, and I'm going to be talking to you, about the eastern hemlock's life.
Hi, I'm Maia, and I'll be talking to you guys today about the history of the eastern hemlock in the United States. Hello, my name is Maia, and we're going to talk today about the eastern hemlock's history. So, about 12,000 years ago, that's when the Ice Age ended. And the Ice Age, in this time, there were 2 miles of ice extending from here up above. And when that glacier receded, the eastern hemlock took root. So beginning in the southeast portion of the country, the trees started growing, and then it started growing 12,000 years ago. And then it started growing in the North Woods 2,000 years ago. So it's actually a fairly recent entry into the forests of the North Woods of Wisconsin. So old growth hemlock is actually very rare today because it was logged in the 1900s to 1930s. And what they would do is they would take this hemlock bark and they would send it to Milwaukee for tanning. And they would often leave the logs to rot or use them for railroad ties because the spikes stick really well in the logs. Also, there are very few groves of old growth hemlock left, as I said. A lot of them are in western Pennsylvania, and so Sylvania and Conserve School campus, right here, has a large portion of the remaining eastern hemlock forest. If you want a number, 1 to 3% of the eastern hemlock forests are left. Today they're basically grown, a lot of new ones are grown, for ornamental shrubs. So I hope you've learned a little bit about the history of the eastern hemlocks. Now.
Okay, this is an eastern hemlock. These guys also want you to know that they have other names, like the Canada hemlock and the hemlock spruce. Well, guys, this is a hard thing. I can't.
Why can't you be serious?
I don't know.
They have a droopy look.
Okay, let's just keep it at that droopy look. Okay, and we can edit this, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Unlike other coniferous species of trees, the eastern hemlock has an all-around droopy look, and its terminal leader, which is the vertical stem at the top of the trunk, droops down, and it doesn't have that typical, really accented, pointed look like a red pine would have. And this tree will grow to be about 100 or so feet, and the tallest recorded was 173 feet. So they get relatively tall, but also these trees are really long-lived. The oldest recorded has been up to 554 years old, and its trunk can reach 5 to 6 feet in diameter. And these hemlocks provide lots of shade, so in the summer, lots of times when you go into a hemlock forest, it's a lot cooler in the forest. And they grow in fairly acidic soils, and they're fairly shade tolerant. And when you can't really tell right now because there's snow on the ground, but in the summer or fall, you can walk on the ground underneath the hemlocks, and it'll be like have a spongy feel. And that's because of all the needles that have a thick layer on the forest floor, and they slowly decompose. And one more thing, the eastern hemlock, since it's pretty long-lived, it doesn't start producing its seeds until it's 20 to 40 years old. So these pine cones are actually going to be dropped fairly soon they drop their pine cones in the winter.
The foliages of these trees are eaten by deer. The deer just eat them. And the seeds are snacks for the finches and small rodents, which are gross. And if you didn't hear before, these old timers can live to be about 1,000 years old, which is awesome. But then they get infected by these fungal diseases and they're vulnerable to decay species, including Heterobestidian anosum and Armillarius. They come up and they kill these ancient buggers while they're down. It rots the heartwood, making the hemlock vulnerable to just about anything else. Then it dies. It's all very sad. But anyways, death is gonna happen to all of us, and that's how it happens to the hemlock.